Thank you for listening to the Unscripted Dreams Podcast with Joe and Marcus. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to email us at unscripteddreams@gmail.com. If you're interested in listening to exclusive content that includes bonus episodes and our hindsight video series, please join us on Patreon at the Unscripted Dreams Podcast. If you're listening to our podcast on YouTube, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, or iHeartRadio. Thank you. Let's go.
As we know, life is full of surprises, both good and bad. The day-to-day journey is full of unforeseen obstacles, and sometimes it's hard to see our way through. Beyond the norm and mundane are where unscripted dreams live. Join us for thought-provoking discussions and interviews to help us navigate through the fog and create our own path. We are the Unscripted Dream Podcast, operating outside the margins to motivate and inspire our audience. So it's that time again, doing something out of the norm.
Yeah. It's episode, I think 23. Maybe. I might be right. I might be wrong.
But basically, this one is just like the episode we did, the bonus episode, with us ranking some of the top movies by category. This time we're actually going to rank video games. So something that's very common in today's world and very helpful. It can help you save money. It can help you stay out of trouble for various reasons. It can also get you into trouble for many reasons. Video games, man.
Yeah, so, Joe, I mean, we're both... Well, I'm not the gamer I used to be, but
Me neither.
but I do. I used to be on the stage pretty heavy. But I just wanted to, if we could just maybe go through our top five, top five games all time, and then we'll just see where the conversation goes from there.
All right, that's cool with me. Well, I'm gonna start off with my first one, and I just want to let you know, first and foremost, like I probably have a top 20 list or 25 list of favorite video games, so it's really hard for me to just pick less than double digits. It's really hard, but I'm gonna give you my number one, or this is in no order per se, but I'm going to give you my first one. And my first one would be, because of my actual game system I truly fell in love with, would be the Nintendo 64. And I'm going to have to pick Super Mario 64.
Super Mario.
Now, what makes this game special is because not only was this the first time Mario was in 3D, it was just profound. You had everything in it. You had water, you had fire in it, you even had flying in it. Like you name it, it was in this game, except for like obviously adult stuff. But but anything you can think of with Mario was in it, and it was just crazy, man. It was an amazing game. Like, what game or developer would come up with all these crazy hidden ideas, and this is their first time making a game in 3D. Like, I remember I had played Super Mario 64 for when I got the game, I was probably 6, 7. So, I don't know what's what. I just know how to do the basics, right?
Yeah.
So over the years, I kept playing, and I realized that there was a level hidden on the wall. And the only reason why I saw it was because there was a mirror there. So you look in the mirror and you be like, hey, that's not there. So, I jumped in there and I found out that was actual world. And lo and behold, I was able to beat the game because I couldn't get any more stars at that point in time. And all because I ran around the whole castle and I found that.
It was not an easy game. I remember playing. I never beat it because it's not a. I don't think it's an easy game. With just the whole way they had that thing set up, is crazy.
Yeah, the mechanics is very challenging. Like a lot of situations, you really had to be like a true real life acrobat. Like it's so easy to jack up anything in that game. Like you have to hit everything perfectly just to even get a shot at some of the things in that game.
Yeah, that's a good pick, Joe. I didn't even. That wasn't even. Not even on my radar for games. so, so all right. So mine are actually in order. I have mine in order from 5 to 1. So my number 5 is Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Ooh.
So now
Nice.
this game. Now I was a Marvel fan. I mean, for one, I was like a fan of the X-Men and stuff before everybody like jumped on the bandwagon with all the Avengers movies and all that stuff. I had been a fan since I was a kid. The first toy I remember having, like growing up, just when I was like older enough to like pick my own toys, I had a Cyclops and a Wolverine. And I remember I melted like the, you know how a lamp bulb gets hot. I think I melted one of them on like a light bulb or something, playing around being stupid. But no, that game, it came out in the first one came out in 2006, and it was a different type of game because it had that over top view.
Mm-hmm.
So you couldn't like now it wasn't like I forget like what they called it, like the different view, but it was that, you know, that over top view. But I thought it was a great game, and I
Bird's eye view.
Yeah. So I enjoyed playing it. I think it was maybe one of the first games after my number 1 game. It's probably one of the first games that I played more than once. It had that replay value just because I wanted to use the different characters, and you could build up the different characters. Anything that's like has that RPG element to it, like I'm usually gonna get sucked into that, and I try to be mindful of that when I'm picking out games that I play now. I try to actually avoid that if I can. But yeah, that's my number 5. And then the second one came out in 2009, so I scooped that up quick. Beat that one as well. Probably played it a couple times, and one just came out. I think it's on Switch, but I don't have that system. So, but when
Are
I
you
do,
serious? I might have to check that out.
yeah, man, might get that. But when I do get a Switch, I'll probably scoop that one up just to play it. But I mean, now it's, you know, now you got the bandwagon fans on it, but I don't care, man. I still enjoy it. So that's my 5th. It's my 5th pick.
All right. Well, that's a pretty damn good pick there. Also, you know, it's a good conversation piece with people too. I might have to go with my next one, man, and it's only because I was kind of born into this. This was like my way of beating my cousin's ass at video games because he was way older than me, 5 years older. So this was my chance where I can mash buttons and win. That would be Mortal Kombat. My favorite Mortal Kombat would be Mortal Kombat 3. So that was like still on the Sega. But I mean, they've made some great Mortal Kombats over the years. Like Mortal Kombat 11, the most current one's pretty awesome. It's pretty good. But that Mortal Kombat 3, there's nothing like it because I used to play that every day after school when I was little. So Mortal Kombat 3, well, the Mortal Kombat series would be my next pick.
Yeah, that's a good pick, Joe. Not even on my radar for games, by the way. But I thought, yeah, man, I used to play that a lot. I used to play Mortal Kombat a lot. One of the games I used to play with my brother a lot, I think, and other folks. But yeah, man, that's a good pick. So for my number 4 is a tie. I don't know if I'm breaking the rules on this, but it's a tie. It is my number 4 is Red Dead Redemption and NBA 2K, the series.
Are you serious? You like being a cowboy?
Yeah. So let me tell you about this game. All right. This Red Dead Redemption, I mean Rockstar, so that's, you know, Grand Theft Auto guys who make Grand Theft Auto. So this game I got it, and I wasn't thinking it was going to be anything special. I was just buying it Like I was just trying to try something new. So when I got into it, I didn't think I was going to get into all that cowboy stuff, but then I got really into the story and just the whole way the game was set up and just the different levels to it. I ended up really enjoying it. And it was the first, like the way the game ended. It was actually the first, because the main character he gets killed at the end.
Right.
But that was the first game I brought the like DLC. That's when the DLC started to become normal. So I bought it was like it's like some zombie stuff. I don't even like that zombie stuff, but I bought it. I brought that because I liked the character, and I was like, man, I'm just trying to bring this guy back to life and keep playing because it was just that fun of a game for me. But and then NBA 2K, just overall, just the series as a whole. I mean, now it's kind of morphed into something else, but like I've spent a lot of time playing 2K. I don't really enjoy. I mean, Joe, you and I were talking about this before we even recorded, but I don't really enjoy that my player stuff because it's so grindy. I just like to play the association and build a team and just keep playing through the years and all of that stuff. So NBA 2K has been solid. It's been solid through the years, even though now it's just straight cash grab with them. But man, I still enjoy it overall.
Look out for those microtransactions. They'll get you
everywhere. Everywhere.
All right, man. I don't think you're ready for my next one. I still haven't even crossed over to the newer gen systems yet.
Yeah.
Next one, man. It's going to blow people's tops off. GoldenEye 007.
All right.
I don't know what's up with 1997, but 1997 was a great year. You hear me? So from music, video games, everything, movies. But GoldenEye 007 is a cult classic. Anybody that's a gamer, if nobody mentions GoldenEye 007 or have anything positive to say about this, I guarantee you they're not a gamer. Because GoldenEye 007 left this mark on all multiplayer shooting games. This is like the precursor to Call of Duty.
Yeah, who's your favorite character on GoldenEye, Jeff?
I can't say James Bond because that's cheating. And I can't say Objob because that's cheating as well.
He was cheating.
And I can't use the Moonraker Elite either because that's cheating as well. So what I mean by cheating is Objob and the Moonraker Elite, those two people are super short compared to everybody. So people have to aim to shoot you when they run up on you. So who's ever the shorter person can literally like run under your gun and chop you to sleep before you know what's up. So they're really cheap. But James Bond is cheap too because he has auto aim. I don't know why he has auto aim and everyone else doesn't. That's just how the game was made. So yeah, I would say it's a good game for sure. But my favorite character was Traveling though.
Yeah, great game, great campaign too. I was not very good at GoldenEye. I was pretty bad. I would lose often, frequently.
In all honesty, they didn't make it easy for you.
No, man. I had time for all that. I was probably playing. I don't forget what I was playing, but yeah. All right. Well, I get to number three on my list. And this is going to be Halo.
I can't disagree.
So 1 and 2, really, I remember like watching my brother play Halo 1, like actually going through it, and then 2, just scooping that up and playing that. But Halo 1 was the first game where I remember being just in high school, and me and my friends, we would actually, this is when you had to like link up systems. Like you had to hook up your Xbox to somebody else's system. So we would go, like it would be like us from like our block, and then we would go against somebody else's friend somewhere else. But we would like go meet up and we play for hours. I remember like it would be like the weekend or something, we would start playing like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We'd be playing till like 10 o'clock at night, just going at it like heavy. So I spent a lot of time on Halo, man. I really enjoyed a good game. Campaign was always good. It was difficult. It was challenging. So that's my number 3, man. I spent, especially in high school, man, I spent a whole lot of time playing Halo.
I can't disagree with you on that, man. I wasn't an Xbox fan one bit, but I will tell you this much. I definitely played some Halo. That's for sure. So I can't even hate. I'll go with the next one. So this will be my 4th one, right?
Yeah.
So my 4th one, sorry, you can call it a cop-out, but they've gotten my money for years, and they still get my money. That would be Call of Duty series. Man, when I tell you they came with some blockbuster hits on there, they came with some blockbuster hits, man.
That's true.
I would say my 2 favorite Call of Duty games are out of the whole series would have to be Black Ops. I love all the Black Ops because I used to love playing zombies. I could play that for like 3 hours or 4 hours straight, just because it's just fun. And basically what that is you're basically running around a whole board trying to unlock all kind of things and get weapons while you're fighting off a whole horde of zombies. That's literally what it comes down to. And there's like 4 people that play. So it's like a team game. But you can play by yourself, but a team game is more fun. And then the other one would be Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, just because it was just something out of this world, man. And that game is so good. They still use some of the maps from that game in the latest Call of Duty. So that speaks volume.
Yeah, those are classics, man. Those are classics. I remember jumping online playing. This is when I actually would be like every once in a while with Call of Duty, I would actually be like competitive. I would play it enough to where I could jump in there and dominate from time to time. But now with all the professional gamers and all that stuff,
Oh man, it's so much harder.
I have no shot whatsoever. But man, I think the campaigns, like the way they started to set up some of the campaigns in the Call of Duties and stuff, I thought that was pretty dope. So
yeah, they used a lot of notable names in their storylines. So they'll have like a storyline game that probably was like at the most 10 hours of gameplay.
Yeah.
So
no, man, I enjoyed those, man. Great pick. Not on my radar either. GoldenEye was one of my honorable mentions, though. But,
yeah.
But so see, I'm a real gamer because I know, man. But nah, all right, Joe, if you're good on that one, I'll jump into number 2 on my list. Number 2 for me is Mass Effect, the trilogy. If you're not familiar with Mass Effect, it's a game from BioWare, and they make some good games. I think there's some affiliation with EA, but Mass Effect is like this crazy. I mean, it's RPG elements, and it was one of these games that I like stumbled on. I didn't even buy this game to start out with. My friend, my boy Steph in college, he gave me the game as a hand-me-down, the first one. So I think he couldn't, something about the lights or something bothered him. And I think I just probably didn't have money, and I was just looking for a new game to play. I was in college, so I was broke. But he gave me this game. I turned this thing on. I said, this game's kind of weird, but then it had like the RPG and the squad elements and things like that, and the story was great. And I never really played a game like that before, so it was pretty good. My favorite one is Mass Effect 2 because the story was crazy. The way they let you interact with the squad, it's just crazy. One of those games you spend like 70, 80 hours playing. And I think the second one was one of the games where you were actually like mining elements on different planets. So I would actually do that and enjoy that. And if you looked at that interface, it wasn't anything special. So that just tells you how it's really a good game, man. It had a lot of different layers to it. So 1, 2, and 3, I'm a fan of. 2 is my favorite. Really good game, and it was something that it wasn't even on my radar. So I thank my boy Steph for that one, for introducing me to that series.
Yeah, man, I've always been meaning to play that, and I never got around to it. So hopefully they make another one. Potentially, I hope. I'm pretty sure they will somewhere down the line.
Well, I'm gonna hold my tongue on that one because I'm gonna get into that. Get into that later.
Okay, that sounds good to me. All right. Well, my fifth one, and I'm kind of sad to say because I got so many other games I could list. But it's only right. I think you guys already know what it is, and it would be the Grand Theft Auto series.
I knew it.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I liked them all from as far as like the ones that hit PlayStation. So the main one I would say that I really liked the best would probably be San Andreas. Just because it was the first to implement a lot of things. So not only were you doing all this insane stuff, you could modify your character by eating, working out, so he could be super buff and fast, or you can make him eat and he just has this huge pot belly.
CJ.
Yeah, he's just out of shape and look ridiculous. Like you could do so much in that game. It was crazy, and the world was so big in that game for the time. Yeah. Nobody's ever seen anything like that before. You have Los Angeles, California in the game. Then you have San Francisco in the game. And then you have other parts of California in the game, like farmland and all that type of stuff. The game was out of this world, man. Like, phenomenal. One of the best games that was made ever. I wouldn't be surprised if they were to remake that actual exact game someday. They probably will.
Just remaster that thing. Yeah. No, GTA's, man, stuff's crazy, man. It's great just the way they write the stories and they put the dialogue together and stuff like that, man. It's just like real people having a conversation and stuff, man. They've only gotten better at it,
Way better.
So yeah, man, that's a good one. Also, my honorable mentions, Joe, GTA. All right, so my number one all-time game is it's Zelda, Ocarina of Time.
Wow!
This is 1998 N64. My brother bought this game. I wasn't even interested in playing this game whatsoever. I still thought Link was Zelda. I thought Zelda was the guy.
Same.
until this game, but I remember my brother had bought it, and then I would just watch him. Like, this was back in the day when I just would kind of watch my brother play video games. And then one day he was at work, and then I just got like curious, and I accidentally like played over his save game, and he was kind of far like in the game, and he was like, "Man, you're gonna get me back to where I was at." so I had to play to catch up to get where he was at. And then just like all the elements in the game, I mean, it did have some RPG elements, but then he got like Link. It's like you start off as like kid Link, but then towards the end or the mid game, he like gets older. So he's like an adult kind of. I think it spans like a couple decades or a few decades or something, but he grows up, and then it's like all these different components that now you see are implemented in games. And it's just like it's like crazy thorough game, just the level of detail. And then I played the game like multiple times, and it just takes you kind of like all over the place. And it's just it was like maybe I think it was. I mean, well, it's number one on my list, but I mean, it's pretty dope game, man. It's pretty it's kind of scary to me at first. I was pretty young, but like the main bad guy, what's his name, Ganondorf.
Yep.
Gandalf. Like, man, that dude like creeped me out. So keep in mind, I'm like 7 or 8 years old or something. Well, maybe like 9 or 10, but he creeped me out, man. So it wasn't somebody I was trying to go up against, but you know, but anyway, man, it was a like great game, crazy game. I think it's like the highest like selling game for like Zelda or something. Might be it's one of the like top grossing, or maybe not grossing games, but it's up there, man. It's up
For
there.
that time, it was, anyways. I know that
Yeah,
much.
but no, man, great, man. That game had a lot of stuff. Had like a lot of stuff in it, man. It's crazy. That one I encourage people, if you just are curious about that, man, just check that game out, man. It's worth playing. I think they remastered it too, um, for Switch or whatever.
Yeah, I believe they plan on doing that if they haven't already.
So great game, man. So that's number one.
Yeah. All right. Well, we got through our 5. So, with that being said, are we moving on to honorable mentions?
Worst.
Worst?
The worst. Let's do the worst.
All right. Yeah, let's do the worst, man. There's a couple, man, that I just like thought to myself, and I was just like, man, these games are booty butt trash. Like, these games are ridiculous, man. Whew. There's a couple of bad games out there, man. I can definitely mention a few. But I'm going to start with one, and I remember playing this game, and I had no clue. I had no clue what I was getting into, and this was on the PS3, and I think it was on Xbox too. The game was a Rambo game. It was Rambo the video game. Now, if you go on YouTube and you take a look at this game, like what drawed me in for the time being was like the graphics. I was like, man, this looks good. I love the movie Rambo. Man, oh my goodness. The game was just horrible, man. Like, it was just a huge disappointment, dude. Like, you can tell that they didn't, whoever the developers were, they didn't put full time into this game. Like, it just wasn't fun.
Yeah. Movie video games they're usually pretty bad. They're usually bad, man. But
I don't know, man. That Home Alone game on Sega was fun to me when I was younger.
oh man, yeah, that was pretty good. I forgot all about that, man. I forgot all about that. That game was pretty cool, man.
That was a sleeper, by the way.
Yeah, that was. Hey man, I can't see all kinds of gems sitting in there. But all right, man. Well, the one, like I said, I only have two, because I mean I don't get caught up playing too many trash games. But my just one of the two is Superman 64.
Oh, that was a horrible game.
Like, I don't know what. I mean, I know it's hard to make a Superman game, just because he's so powerful. I got some ideas on how to make a good Superman game, but I mean, maybe that's a conversation for another episode. But yeah, man, it's just a trash game. I remember, I think I rented it or something. It was just garbage, man. Flying through rings around the city. I think, although I thoroughly disappointed, I think it's maybe like up there, ranks in probably one of the top like worst superhero games. Maybe some of like one of the worst games of all time. But it's pretty bad. It is. I mean, it's absolute trash.
I agree. That was yeah. I did not enjoy that one bit.
Didn't beat it. Stopped playing. I stopped playing it too.
I rented it at a Blockbuster, and I just stopped playing it right then and there. I think I only played it for like maybe 30 minutes.
Waste of money. Waste of money. What you got next?
My next one is gonna be unusual to some people, but the game was just so freaking disappointing because the series started off strong, and that would be Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
Yeah.
That game was just horrible, man. I enjoyed 1, 2, and 3. 4 was okay, but 5, dude, that was when they should have put it down. You know, it was just horrible. Like they were just running off of what happened or transpired earlier that made the game good, right? But what was terrible was like the game didn't feel completely. It didn't feel complete. The physics of the game was just super cheap. So like when you tried to beat the game or, you know, do some of the most impossible stuff that you do in Tony Hawk, like it was almost like the game couldn't execute that. So it was just horrible, man.
Yeah, man. Sorry, man. Sorry that happened to you, man. I can hear the disappointment in your voice, man.
Yeah, I actually bought that game, so I was highly disappointed.
I can hear the disappointment.
And it wasn't like I was making like, well, I mean, I was making money then, but you know what I'm saying? It was just more so just like, come on, man. Like I paid a whole $60 for this trash. So I wasn't really happy with that one.
Yeah. Man, you know, you live and learn. But all right, bro. So my second, this is the only other one I have for worst. And this is Mass Effect Andromeda. So this is not included in my top 5. This is not in the trilogy of Mass Effect. This Andromeda game is hands down. Anybody who has played Mass Effect will tell you this is the worst game. I actually didn't beat it. I actually stopped playing it. The game, there's so many like bugs and glitches in the game. I couldn't start certain missions. It just wasn't fun. And I asked myself at like 30, 40 hours in, I was like, man, Marcus, why are you still playing this? And then I let it go, man. It was just too buggy. It wasn't really fun, man. And it just wasn't on par with the rest of the series and the other iterations of that franchise. So man, I was very disappointed. And if they do make another one, I hope that they do it right, because that's garbage. This is garbage, man. I spent my money on that.
Take your word for it. And nothing's worse than buying a $60 game and it turns out to be trash. So trust me, I feel your pain. And you can't really, 9 times out of 10, you're like, man, I have no other option but to turn it into EB Games or GameStop. And then they be like, oh, I'm sorry, you only can get $5 for this brand new game. So
that's all bad. I used to have GameFly. I think I had GameFly in college when I could afford it. So I would just get a game, beat it. If I didn't like it, I send it back. I forget how much I was paying a month, but for me, it was worth it when I could afford it.
See, that would totally work for me now. But back then, I was, nope. I was playing like games like you would play consistently, like sporting games and like, of course, Call of Duty. So, or a fighting game or something like that.
Yep. Well, that's Joe, that's all my worst. Did you have any more worst that you'd like to share?
No. I just want to put emphasis on those games, but I could be sitting here all day, but I'd rather move to something more positive.
All right, so we can do wish lists, honorable mentions, or sleepers.
Let's do the honorable mentions if that's cool.
All right. You can start it off, man.
I'm going with Tekken. I've always been a huge fan of Tekken. I'm not saying this for everybody, but if you're into like the whole fighting game, that whole fighting game system is great once you learn it or played it through the years. It's, I don't know, man. Tekken is great. Even when they started down the line doing Tekken versus Street Fighter, so you have Street Fighter characters versus Tekken. Like, man, I loved every minute of that game. I just wish they would have put more players in it. So, yeah, man, Tekken Tekken is one of those fighting games that'll never die.
Yeah. Who's Paul? Paul was in Tekken, wasn't he? The guy with the
Yep.
like, yeah,
Tall yellow hair. Yeah.
yeah. Him and King were probably my favorite on there.
Hey, King was probably one of the harder players to play with, but if you know his combinations, it's game over.
Yeah, yeah, man. So, all right. So number one on my honorable mention list is God of War. The whole series.
Oh, how did I forget that? Oh
Yeah,
my
man.
god.
So
Yeah, those games are excellent, by the way.
they're pretty good. I haven't played the last one because it's on PS4. I have a PS4, but those
You get that, please.
all
Get
those
that.
I've watched some gameplay of it. I don't know if I had time for that, but no, all those games are good, man. He don't man, boy Kratos plays no games. He plays no games with anybody, man. So it's pretty I mean, good series the way the puzzles usually I don't enjoy like crazy like elaborate puzzles, but I mean the
Mhm.
game just had a good mix of just the way the combos, the story was great. I mean, good series, good series. I know the last one, like I even watching the gameplay, it was just crazy, crazy the way it was.
Some of the best graphics I've ever seen in a video game. It took them over 10 years to make that game.
Yeah, it looks like man. So how can we put that work in? You got anything else?
Some honorable mentions, of course, man. I'm gonna go with Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Hmm.
That's another fighting game, but that's a cult classic. Anybody that's in the fighting game that love fighting games, if they don't ever mention Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or even know anything about it, more than likely they don't know anything about fighting games. That's definitely one of the best ever to do it.
Yeah, yeah, man. I agree with you. I agree with you. All right, so my next one is a Titanfall, the first one and the second one. I think I bought. I mean, I have both games. The first one left a little bit to be desired because it didn't have a campaign. Then the second one, they fixed it. They had a campaign in there, and the online is crazy. I think it's just an underrated. It's an underrated game. I think they made the mistake of releasing it on par with some other big time titles. I think they dropped it around either Call of Duty or some other game, but it's a pretty good game. It's kind of a shame that people don't play it as much, but it's a real good game, and the way they got it all set up, and it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, I remember Call of Duty taking some of the mechanics or elements out of that game and putting it in their own game.
Yeah, it's a sleeper. I could say it qualifies as a sleeper. I would say.
All right. Well, I'm moving on to another one, and this is for people that are a little bit old school. And Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Not one, but Sonic the Hedgehog 2. That game, it's like one of the first games I've ever had. And luckily, that game is well received by everybody. That's a household name game for the Sega Genesis. Great game.
Yeah. Sonic was on my list too because it's a classic Sonic. All right, my next game, honorable mention, is NFL 2K. 2K,
Wow.
whenever it came out, because that game was so good, and then Madden just started. That game was better than Madden. It was better than Madden.
At one point, it was for sure.
And then something happened with the license and stuff, and then all it was Madden after that. So now we're kind of just stuck with Madden. But NFL 2K at the time, head to head, I remember I was in high school. They sold it for like $20, and I think it outsold Madden or something. It was the better game. So I don't want people to forget that when you sitting there playing your Madden, you wonder why there's nothing else, but there was. I remember I think T.O. was on the cover too of that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so great game, but you probably won't see it for a while. It's like EA has Madden and like 2K has basketball, and then EA tries to make live every other year or every 2 years or whatever, and then they're just too far behind. They didn't even try this year. So it's funny. But no, that's it, man.
What about NBA Street Volume 2, man?
Oh, great game.
Man.
Great game. I liked it. I played that heavy.
So did I.
What was funny about that game is that they created these like street ballers that they're fictional, and you really wanted to play with them. Like, that's what was cool about it. Like, I remember the dude, what's his name? It was like Bonafide or something. He's like a little short dude that'll cross you up.
Yeah, he reminded me of Allen Iverson.
So I think that was cool that they created, like, you have to think about how many games are actually out where they create like a basketball player, even though it's like an arcadey game, where they create a player that you want to play with that's not real.
That's true.
So I thought that was pretty, I think, man, that was pretty good. Pretty good. So I think I just named the rest of these, well, a couple, and then I'll be done. I'm gonna be done with this. Wipeout is like a racing game with spaceships. It's pretty old. I think my brother told me they redid it and made it, but it's pretty cool racing game. Borderlands, I haven't played the last one, but the first two were pretty good. I know the ending of the first one was pretty trash, but I think they made it right with the second one. Fight Night.
Oh, yes.
Fight Night, Ready to Rumble boxing.
Yep.
With Afro Thunder. I think that game had like Bill Clinton. It had some other people. It was like weird how they did that. And my last honorable mention is Mega Man.
Mega Man. I never got into that, but people love Mega Man.
Yeah, man. That was good, man. That's all I got for the honorable mentions, man.
Wow, man. Well, yeah, you definitely put your stamp in the game there, man, on that. One honorable mention I have to mention, because it's one of the best story games I've ever played, would be Metal Gear Solid series.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Metal Gear, so I wouldn't do it myself justice if I didn't mention them, because I spent a lot of time playing those. I would say the next one after that would definitely have to be Resident Evil. I play a lot of the Resident Evil series over the years, and nobody does it better than Resident Evil, even though their storyline got super weird. But it was good. The next one would be Street Fighter, another fighting game. I don't play fighting games as much as I used to, but man, Street Fighter, that was one of those games coming up where you just couldn't deny it, man. That was just an all-around good game.
Yeah. Street Fighter, we used to play that in college. I used to take major L's in Street Fighter. Not good.
Yeah. Well, when people get certain characters, they kind of spam on the moves, and before you know it, it's a wrap. I can appreciate the art of this next game, but I've never played it because I was afraid of it for the right reasons. Because my roommate flunked out of college for this one. So if he's listening, I apologize for putting you out there on blast. But World of Warcraft, man.
Yeah.
People, oh my goodness, World of Warcraft came in and dropped a nuclear bomb on the gaming industry. Surprisingly, it's still running. It got to a point where people got so good at the game and put so much time and value into the game where you could sell your own individual account for thousands of dollars. It's unheard of.
That's crazy.
Nuts.
It's interesting, man. Yeah. Never touched it. I never see, man. Those games are just dangerous, man. You just get hooked on that stuff, man. So it can be If you don't have self-control, man, it could be all bad. So my last, I guess my last one is gonna be a sleeper. Well, I'm just gonna name them real quick. So my top wish list games that I always wanted that I never played was this game on Dreamcast played named Power Stone. We had like this demo disc when we got our Dreamcast, and it was this game where they like collect. It's like a fighting game, but there's levels and they're tiered. You got to look it up to kind of understand it, but if you don't know about it, but you would just collect these stones and you would like transform into something temporarily. But I never was able to get the game. Next one would be Skyrim, one of those games. It's like those 100-hour games. Can never touch it. Couldn't get involved with that, man.
I started and couldn't finish.
Yeah, so
too long.
Man, that's why I stay away from it. And then another series that I wanted to play was like the Batman, that Arkham series. Like I know those are real good games, but I never had the chance to play them. And then my last sleeper pick is a Portal 2. I bought this game. I thought it was going to be something else. It wasn't anything of what I thought it was. I thought I was going to be able to like shoot people, jump through portals, and all this other stuff. But that was not what happened. You end up like, it's just a game full of puzzles. And then at first when I started playing it, I hated it. And I was like real upset. But I was like, I spent my money on it, so I'm going to go ahead and beat it. But then as I got into it, I actually started to enjoy the challenge of the game, and it actually ended up being one of the more enjoyable games I played. So that's it for me, man. I'm spent.
Wow, man. I know we didn't do this episode justice because there's so many games, but we just want to spark up conversation regarding all these games. And that's the whole purpose of it. So if you're a gamer out there, I just hope you appreciate the content we deliver on this episode.
Yeah. Coming from me, a retired gamer.
and I'm a sometimey gamer, so
no, all I play is 2K. I got that MK11. I'm still playing Justice 2, but sparingly with the little free time I do have. But
you know what? The one honorable mention game we forgot to mention is the Pokemon series, like Red, Yellow.
I thought you were gonna say that too. Those games.
Everybody had those back in the day.
So that was, I was like under 14. I was probably 10, 11, 12 or something.
Yeah,
that stuff was going on. So I remember my dad got me that one of them as a gift, and I was fiending for that game. You clock hours on those games too, like crazy hours. And you didn't understand, like as a kid, you putting like 30, 40, 50 hours into those games. But man, they were all good. And then they made, the marketing on it was brilliant. What was it? Pokemon Blue, Red, Yellow, Green, whatever it was. And then, those, but I think they were good. They were real good games though, given what was going on. So, those are definitely in the honorable mention, man, because they made some good games. I know they made a ton of money off of that. And they still doing it. That's crazy that Pokemon, like, transcends the generations, too.
They did a good job, too, because I played one of the most recent ones, and I enjoyed it. Given the fact that I didn't know half of the Pokemon, I still enjoyed it.
They're probably in the thousands now. At first, it was just like 100 or something, right?
Yeah, and then it just multiplied exponentially, or it grew exponentially. So, yeah.
Yeah, but no, those are good games, man. I agree with you, Joe. Those games are pretty solid, man.
Good for kids.
Pretty solid. Stay out the grass. Stay out of But, hey, man, I'm done. I'm good, Joe. If you got something else, man, I'm all ears. I'll just be a spectator.
I just enjoyed being able to talk about something a little bit more refreshing. So, let people know we're human. So,
yeah. Well, all right, well, that's it for this one. So, hope y'all enjoyed it, man. Take care. Be safe.
Later.